Hello my beautiful friends. And welcome to playABYSS Storytime with Jasmine. Tonight's story is called The Light in the Window, spoken by our wonderful narrator, Olivier from Montreal. Now, let's begin.
Now before we begin, are you all cozy and tucked in? Do you have your favourite blanket right there with you? And did everyone remember to go to the bathroom? Good. Very good. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your body relax and snuggle in nice and warm. Because story time starts right now. The Light in the Window, a 10-minute Christmas story. In a quiet town, tucked beneath the rolling snow-covered hills, where winter wrapped the rooftops in white and chimneys exhaled thin curls of smoke, lived a little girl named Ellie. Ellie was known for two things: her bright curiosity and her unbreakable hope. She lived with her grandmother in a small wooden house at the end of Maple Lane, a home that smelled always of cinnamon tea and fresh pine from the forest nearby. The house was old, with floors that whispered as you walked, and windows that hummed softly when the wind pushed against them. But Ellie never minded. To her, it felt like the house was alive, as if it had a heart of its own. Every year, on the first snowfall of December, Ellie's grandmother placed a single lantern in the front window. It glowed with a warm, golden light, not too bright, but impossible to ignore. They called it the Christmas light in the window. Her grandmother always said, "Wherever someone you love travels, this light tells them you're never alone, and you can always come home." Ellie adored the tradition. To her, it wasn't just a lantern, it was a quiet promise. This Christmas felt different. Ellie's mother, a hard-working nurse, had been away for months helping in a faraway city. The world felt heavy, hospitals stressed, and promises were harder to keep. But her mother had whispered one last thing before leaving. "I'll try my best to be home for Christmas, sweetheart." Ellie held on to those words like a treasure. Every night after homework, she'd sit near the window and watch the lantern glow, imagining her mother walking down the snowy road, suitcase in hand, smiling through the cold. But as the days passed and the nights stretched longer, her hope began to flicker, just a little. To keep her spirits high, Ellie began writing letters to her mother. She left them on the kitchen table, knowing Grandma would mail them when she went into town. Her letters were simple and sweet. "Dear Mama, I miss you. Grandma made your favourite soup today. I saved you the biggest cookie from school. Please come home soon." She drew little hearts and pine trees in the corners. Sometimes she added glitter, even though it always ended up on the floor. Grandma never complained. One evening, as the snow fell steadily outside, Ellie sat on the living room rug with a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. "Grandma," she asked softly, "do you think Mama will really make it home? I mean, what if she can't?" Her grandmother set down her knitting, walked over, and cupped Ellie's cheeks gently in her hands. Hope can feel heavy sometimes, Ellie, she said.
But when you carry it with love, it always knows the way.
Ellie nodded. though she didn't fully understand. Still, she trusted her grandmother's wisdom. On Christmas Eve, a fierce snowstorm rolled through town. The wind howled like a distant choir, and snowflakes swirled wildly, turning the world into a blurry painting. The lantern in the window flickered slightly. Ellie pressed her forehead against the cold glass, heart thumping with worry. "What if Mama can't see the light through the storm?" she whispered. Grandma joined her, placing a warm hand on Ellie's shoulder. "The lantern is just a symbol," she said. "The real light, the real guide, is the love you send out into the world." Ellie sighed. Her breath fogged the glass. Hours passed. The storm grew louder. The night grew colder. But Ellie refused to leave the window. Just after midnight, when hope felt stretched thin, Ellie noticed something. Far down the snowy road, barely visible through the swirling flakes, a faint shape moved. A figure, swaying, struggling against the wind. Ellie's breath caught. "Grandma, look! Someone's there!" Grandma hurried to the window, squinting through her glasses. The golden light from the lantern spilled across the snow, just enough to touch the figure's outline. Moments later, Ellie saw a familiar gesture. A hand lifting to wave. A smile even the storm couldn't hide. "Mama!" Ellie cried. Before Grandma could say a word, Ellie rushed to the door and threw it open, letting the wind rush inside. Her mother stepped in, shivering, exhausted, her cheeks red from the cold, but her eyes shining with love. "I saw the light," she said softly. "I followed it all the way home." Ellie threw herself into her mother's arms. That night, the little wooden house felt fuller than it ever had. Grandma made hot cocoa and wrapped Ellie's mother in blankets. Ellie sat pressed between them on the couch, listening to stories from her mother's. "Jasmine? Jasmine, did you fall asleep on me? Jasmine, hello?"
Oh, Olivier. I'm awake, I promise. You're such an amazing storyteller. I think I slipped right into the abyss of sleep.
Well, that's what Storytime is for. And I think our little listeners might be drifting off too.
Yes, it's time for all of us to rest now. Thank you, Olivier, and thank you, my beautiful friends, for joining us tonight. Sleep well, dream gently, and we'll meet again in the world of playABYSS Storytime with Jasmine. Good night, everyone.
Good night, and sweet dreams.